So today's recipe for Ooey Gooey butter cake bars was originally a bakery mistake. Now, a St. Louis baker was baking a cake and he used the wrong ratio of flour and sugar, not using enough flour. So he ended up with a really thick and dense cake, but he discovered his customers loved it. So this Ooey Gooey butter cake bars was definitely a fortunate mistake. Now, the original full-size recipe, which I will link to in the description below, uses a cake mix. Now, when you're dealing with small batch like we are today, using a cake mix it's kind of a waste to open a cake mix just to use part of it. So I've come up with a recipe that tastes just as good as the original, but it uses all just from scratch ingredients. So these bars have a yellow cake mix base with an Ooey Gooey cream cheese layer on top. They are so good. All right, we're going to start with the base of these bars, and we've got in my bowl 2 tablespoons of softened salted butter. I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. We're going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon, or however much, I measure my vanilla by my heart. There we go, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to use 1 tablespoon of beaten egg. So I've just taken an egg, put it in my bowl, mixed it up, and I'm going to measure out just 1 tablespoon. We're going to use some more of it in the cream cheese layer on top, so just set that aside. Then we're going to grab our hand mixer and bring it around here. We're just going to mix this together till it is nice and light and fluffy. All right, after we have that mixed together, we're going to add in our flour. Here we go. 6 tablespoons. I'm using unbleached all-purpose flour. We're going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Enough there. And then just a nice healthy pinch of salt. And then go ahead and mix that together. Go ahead and mix this together just until all your dry ingredients are incorporated. So we are going to bake our Ooey Gooey bars in a 9x5 loaf pan, which I do a lot of my bar cookie recipes in. And I like to line it with parchment paper, which I cut like this. Now, if you've never seen me cut it, I'm gonna link to a video right up there that'll show you how I do it. But it makes it so much easier to remove the bar cookies out of the pan. All you have to do is just lift it by the parchment paper and out they come. Of course, you could always just spray it with some nonstick spray too, but this is the way to go. All right, so I've got my batter here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it into the bottom of this loaf pan. Get it all out. And then I'm gonna use an offset spatula just to kind of spread the mixture onto the bottom of the pan in an even layer. All right, this is kind of a thick batter, so if you're struggling to do it with the offset spatula, just go ahead and put a little flour on your fingertips and use those to get it spread in as even a layer as possible. Okay, we're gonna set that aside, and then we're ready to make the Ooey Gooey cream cheese layer. In my bowl, I have 2 ounces of softened cream cheese. We are going to add in a cup of powdered sugar, and then we still have some of that beaten egg left, and we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of beaten egg. And you will end up with about a 1/2 tablespoon of egg left. So we're just gonna get rid of that. Then we're gonna take that hand mixer again, we're gonna mix this all together. And we are gonna just take that mixture and spread it over the top of the cake base. Again, I'm just gonna take that little offset spatula. It helps you get down into the pan. Spread that in an even layer, and then we're gonna pop it in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven, but you want the top of these bars to look set and get a light golden brown. Okay, our Ooey Gooey bars are finished. They have cooled down. I'll show you how easy it is just to lift this right out of the pan. Now, this small batch version of these bars, compared to my full-size version, these are a little bit thinner, which I actually prefer. They're not as cakey as the full-size version. Being a little thinner, it makes them a little chewier, and I really like them this way. Now, my favorite way, of course, is to eat these warm. You can, if you want to make them just look a little prettier, dress them up a bit. You can sprinkle them with a little bit of powdered sugar on top. Just a light dusting. They're plenty sweet, so this is purely just for looks. Now, again, like I said, my favorite way to eat them is when they're still warm, adding some fresh berries on top, some vanilla ice cream. So good. So all we have to do is slice these. I am just gonna slice them into probably 4 pieces, and let me show you this ooey gooey, nice little layer right in there. Yes, so good. I'm actually gonna cut these one more time just to make them a little bit smaller. And now, because of the cream cheese in these, if you do happen to have any leftovers, you do need to keep them in the refrigerator. But you know, these are so versatile. You can eat them warm, you can eat them room temperature. They're delicious cold. They're just pretty much delicious any way you serve them. So hope you enjoy these Ooey Gooey bars. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. As always, leave me a comment if there is a recipe you'd like to see in small batch form. You can find all the directions, ingredients down below in the video description, and I'll see you in the next video.